Good evening, everybody. So, in the NFL, when it comes to quarterbacks and the conversation of the GOAT, it always is mainly either Brady or Montana. Well, that is wrong. The GOAT is Peyton Manning, and I have 4 reasons why. Number one, records. Now, I understand football is not like baseball, but like almost any other sport, records mean something, and for running backs, records mean something. Walter Payton might not have the rings that might have just as many rings as Marshawn Lynch, but will obviously take sweetness over beast mode because duh. So it's only like with quarterbacks that we don't care about records, but records do matter. Manning has the most touchdowns ever, the most MVPs ever, the most game-winning drives ever. So the narrative that he didn't win games, and yet no quarterback brought his team from behind more in the fourth quarter than Peyton Manning, as he brought his team back 54 times. Something ridiculous like that. From behind. So he habitually would bring his team back from behind. Furthermore, 5 MVPs. 3 of them are undisputed. 2 of them were 2 of the easiest MVP calls ever. But 5 MVPs, most touchdown passes ever. Number 2, everyone talks about Tom Brady, and the myth is that Tom Brady's so much better in the playoffs, and yet in the playoffs, head-to-head, Manning beat Brady 3 out of 5 times. In AFC Championship games with a trip to the Super Bowl with the Lamar Hunt Trophy on the line, he beat him 75%. And he beat him all 3 times post-2005 once Brady became an elite quarterback. You go to, and he had worse teams around him generally. 2006, he had a worse defense, a worse running game. Tony Dungy's a good coach, but a worse head coach because although Tony Dungy, good coach, obviously he's not Bill Belichick, and more pressure on him, and he outplayed Brady in the AFC title game. And remember, something that a lot of people don't know outside maybe Colts fans, the reason the AFC Championship game was played at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana, and not Foxborough, was because the Colts won the tiebreaker because they beat the Patriots in New England 27-20, a game where Manning just destroyed Brady. Manning had 3 touchdowns, just 1 pick, and a passer rating of over 90 in that game, while Brady threw 4 interceptions, no touchdowns, played one of the worst games of his career. So in a big game, Manning outplayed Brady, which led into that game being played in Indy and not Foxborough. Go to 2013. When Brady had a better receiver, he had 2 legit weapons in Edelman and Amendola. Manning had just 1 legit weapon in Thomas, Demaryius Thomas. Eric Decker, mediocre player. Wes Welker, mediocre player who coasted on Brady and Manning to be relevant. And Julius Thomas, we had a better running game. The Patriots were 9th in rushing that year. The Broncos were 15th, better defense. The Patriots were 10th in points allowed that year. The Broncos were 22nd. And obviously, Belichick was the coach of the Patriots, while John Fox was the coach for the Broncos. Now, you can tell me that Manning had a better team than 15. I might give you that. But what you can't deny, Manning played well enough to win and did his job in that game. Brady, who gets a total pass from the media for this game. Brady played like absolute garbage in that game. He completed less than 50% of his passes, threw just as many picks as touchdowns. He choked on the goal line, threw a pick on an attempt of a game-time 2-point conversion. So that's one. So he beat him all 3 times was Brady, because Brady became an elite quarterback in 2005. And every time once Brady became an elite quarterback, the Patriots were his team. He could never beat Peyton Manning in the playoffs. And in 2 of those occasions, he had a better team. And all 3 times, he had less pressure on him. That's reason number 2. Reason number 3, Manning had to do more with less. There are plenty of years. I remember I looked up like in '03 with the Colts were 19th in rushing, 19th in points allowed, and in a tough AFC, Manning led him to 12 dubs. In an AFC title game, go to 2004. Even with Eder and James, they had an average running game and a bad defense, a terrible defense, and in a brutal AFC, Manning got them to 12 wins. Go to 2006. They had a below-average running game after Eder and James left, and a terrible defense that was historically incompetent, stopping the run, and Manning got 12 wins. Now, I will give you that in the playoffs, the defense played well, and the defense in the playoffs had more to do than Manning. But to get to the playoffs, Joe Flacco is amazing in the playoffs, but the problem is, to get to the playoffs, you need to do well in the playoffs. First, gotta make the playoffs. That's why, duh. That's, alright, so, so you go to 2008, the Colts had a terrible running game, and they won 12 games in a brutal AFC where the 11-5 Patriots, more than that than Manning, could not get into the postseason. Go to 2009, he took a team with the worst rushing attack in the league, and Jim Caldwell as his head coach to the Super Bowl, to a 14-2 season Super Bowl, and that was the year after Marvin Harrison left. 2010, the Colts were 23rd in points allowed, and they were 29th in rushing, I think. And Jim Caldwell was their head coach. And I remember they had a lot of injuries this year. I remember a video where one of the big mouths on NFL Network said they're decimated by injuries. And he took that team and still a tough AFC to 10 dubs. 10 W's and a berth in the playoffs. Even 2013, look, Broncos I mentioned. Go 2014. They were mediocre running, mediocre defensively. 12 W's. So he did more with less than maybe any, outside of maybe John Elway. No quarterback has ever done, with the caveat of maybe John Elway or Dan Marino. I'm not sure any quarterback has ever done more with less than Peyton Manning. And speaking of which, that brings me to my fourth and final point. And that is, in 2011, when Manning sat out that year because of neck surgery, the Colts went 2-14. Conversely, you look at the Patriots. Brady missed all of 08, and the Patriots still went 11-5 and made the play. And they didn't make the one. Luckily for the countless Tom Brady pom-pom waving fanboys, they missed. It was the 1 year and 11-5 team missed the playoffs. But the bottom line is they won 11 games that year. So the Colts, Bill Polian got exposed in 2011. A good GM, not a great GM, but he got exposed. Dallas Clark got exposed. Joseph Adai got exposed. Jim Caldwell got exposed. The Peyton Manning haters got exposed. So many things got exposed in 2011. It's how do you explain? The Colts had similar rosters in 2010, 2011. 1 year they won 10-6 and made the playoffs. Another year they went 2-14. So those are four excellent reasons to why the GOAT. It's not Joe Montana. It's not Tom Brady. It is Peyton Manning. Thank you.